Welcome back to Time with Jesus and Truck Talk. And as you can see, got my shirt on today. No, I'm not back driving. But anyways, it's interesting. Everything's interesting when it comes to today's times and what we're living through and being obedient and just being on that timeline with God. You think about obedient, you think about your finances, you worry about what tomorrow is going to bring. Nothing's wrong with that, but the worrying part, there's a lot wrong with. And so many people. It amazes me, just walking in faith and how people want to play the lottery and just pray, well, God, if you do this, I'm going to do good. And, well, it comes to that point in the Bible when you have the lady that gave her last two coins. Some people say last two pennies, whatever it was, that the fact that she gave that in faith and knowingly that God was going to provide. I'm not saying be foolish with your money, but I'm saying, when you feel the need to do something and give, then I believe you should do it. Good example. I think about, well, I'll give you two. I think about the times when things happen to me and I just have this feeling like I'm going to throw up. And I just can't, it just doesn't go away. I mean, it could be days and I'm fighting against it. And then finally, I just go do what the Lord has asked me to do and it's done. That feeling goes away. I think about the time in church when we were sitting there and it was around the COVID time and, all the, the chaos and sitting apart and all this ridiculous nonsense that comes with it. Which I'm not even getting started on the COVID. It's kind of like 9/11. People, you believe what you want to believe. It's the same concept. But anyways, and I kept looking at Darlene. I just kept looking over at her, and then she's like, she just gets up and she goes up and tells the pastor about Psalms that she was told to tell him to read, and and the crazy thing in the return, he says, you're the third person who told me this today. Well, if you are a pastor and said you had one person come up and tell you, then two people, and it's almost like you're being disobedient. It's like, read the verse, read whatever it is. God's trying to give everybody peace. We're in crazy times. We're in times of the lockdowns and all this, people, and all that. All it was training. All it was for them to show us that they still have control over us. And we all did it. Well, Nelson, I don't want to go to jail. Well, let me tell you about a pastor that was up to, I believe, in Tampa. A lot of him and a lot of the congregation went to jail. They locked him up because he was refused to do what they were saying. And bravo, I wish I could have gone to that guy's church because I would have went to jail right along with him because I disagreed with the mask. I disagreed with, it's like going in the restaurant. You could take the mask off to eat, but, once you got in there, it seemed like nobody really cared. Because I remember getting up, going to the bathroom, and I didn't put my mask back on. It's fear. I don't fear dying because I've been dead. I don't fear the fact of dying for another reason because I'm going to go to heaven. Why I'm living for that. If we're living for God and we're living for the return to the kingdom and return home, then why the heck are we so paranoid and so crazy when it comes to flus and comes to this? The flu season's back. Take a shot. Well, where was the flu season during the COVID? And no, I'm not just coming against this. I know everybody has their own issues with whatever, the COVID, and they believe what it is. My sister believes, the COVID and all this stuff, and I can't even stomach it. I mean, I really can't. It's just like, well, believe what you want. She watches movies about the end times and it bothers her. And I'm like, well, if it bothers you, this is reality. This is what you're going to see. Why wouldn't you change the opportunity that you have now to change your life? Instead, you live in an upside down world because that's what Satan wants. there's a lot of things in life where we scramble around and we see how God doesn't work because we're never giving God full control. And again, I'm not saying to hoard your finances, but what if the market crashes today? Your bank account gets wiped out. You could be a billionaire and you become a zero in there. Get it? You have nothing. What happens? But look at all them people that could be doing good with that. And I know there's Christians out there that are very wealthy. They got very beautiful homes, and then you can sit there and go, well, why not me? I'm doing everything I possibly can. But are you? I mean, when you start having doubt, when you start, I even listen to the fact when people say, I'm not forgiving my spouse because they cheated on me, this and that. But yet, then there's some people that do, but then they hold this trust issue and this regrets and all this stuff. Well, then, I was sitting with the Lord a while back and he told me the one word that came to mind was hypocrite. And it becomes that because you can only forgive what you want to forgive. You only, because it's going to hurt the trust. And well, yes, I mean, I'm not saying we're human, but I honestly, I guess I'm just a different breed of person. I don't care, none of that stuff. I mean, yeah, it's hurtful, but then it gets to a point where, you know, is it the fact that you just don't care for the person? I mean, I guess every situation you got to put into the effect of it, but I'm not giving a license for anybody to do anything. Now, don't take that as what I'm saying here, but I just, it doesn't faze me like it phases other people, because I'm not saying I'm a doormat either, but what I'm saying is I have my own things that I've repented from in the day, and I expect God to forgive me of everything I've done or have done or whatever done and getting ready to do that I don't know that I'm getting ready to do. But I also ask for Him to help me not do the things that my free will may drag me into. That's why each day I try to surrender it to Him and give it to Him and have Him have His way with it in this day, because I'm not capable. I'm not capable of doing the right things at times. And there's times when I just gosh, it's like I can't get enough sleep. There's like days where I just can't handle life, and it's just to a point where you just don't want to go into that complaining. You don't want to go into that. And even though some people may say, well, Nelson, you got a good reason too, because of everything you've been through and what you're still going through. But, it doesn't make it right. You battle through the depressions you battle through. And I never thought I would ever say anything about depression, because I'm like, it's mind over matter type stuff. Just don't let everything bother you. And here I am battling it. It's terrible. I mean, it's just, you just want to scream at times. So that being said, I get it, people. I mean, I literally understand the whole ridiculous of all this. But what do you do? Day by day, that's all we can do. And unfortunately, through the day by day process, it falls short some days. To see God work is to go out and do His work. To see how He does works in your life is to rely on Him and not on your own understanding. I mean, people could quote the Bible verses up and down, lean not on your own understanding, but lean on mine. If you're doing good with what God has given you, why would He not bless you? Sometimes I get thoughts and I act on it. How can I make extra money, because you're losing money right now sitting at home? And I try different things and I just feel like, wow, this is really going to work. And sometimes you have to invest in everything. And sometimes it doesn't work out how you plan, but you just got to keep going with it and keep trusting that God, because I asked God, don't let me do anything. But when you're focused on nothing but dollar signs and you're focused on just, you know, the control over something, it's a two-way relationship. I have to trust that. I guess let me rephrase it. I really doesn't bother me what Darlene purchases or don't purchase. You know, I've said it and I've said it 1,000 times. I don't care where our lives end up. If I'm not here, as long as she doesn't bring another man into this house, and it wouldn't take me long to figure it out. I'm not supporting a man. I refuse to do that. And to me, men should be out working. You got so many people that their boyfriends or husbands and all this stuff just sit at home, and the woman goes out and busts her tail off. I don't get that. I really don't. But then again, it's not just when you enable somebody to do something. Hey, that's your problem. You figure it out. You can't go crying wolf when it's your own fault. It's unfortunately you got to want to change life. And we don't see enough of God working because, again, you look at the churches. Churches are, to me, the biggest hypocritical things I've ever seen. They speak the word, but I don't see it. You could sit up there, and I just get to a point now, I believe that part in my life that, unless Jesus tells me to go ask another pastor, to do testimonies and stuff, then I'll do it. But other than that, I have no desire. Every time I've only went up and asked pastors that Jesus has told me to go to. And, it's funny how they all start saying the same thing. Well, you don't come to this church, and not any pastor is going to allow somebody that don't go to the church. Even if I went to the church, you wouldn't let me up there because you don't believe in what I'm saying. But yet, go back a couple of videos where I gave the scripture of Elijah in I always forget the other one. It starts with an E too, but anyways, you look at Philip. He transferred Philip from one place to another. You look at John. You look at the images and the visions of things that he's seen. Was he in heaven? Was he on earth? Did God put him to sleep like he put Adam to sleep? Did he? We can go down the list of things. The donkey spoke. I mean, is all these things really true, or is it just imagination? I mean, did the prison wall, cells open up? Did Jesus really raise the dead? Did he really go in there and raise Lazarus? Did he make the blind man see? Did he make the lame get up and walk? I mean, but how do we know this? Because there's testimony of these things happening. We don't see God working because testimony is dead. Satan wants it dead. He wants these things dead in the churches. There's days and I kind of get out away from conversations these days when people ask how you're doing. I want to get away because, it was funny because I talk about this a lot, and it's like, as soon as I go to start telling them, well, let me tell you, I had a hip replaced, I had this knee done, I had this done, and I'm thinking, why don't we just talk about you then? Why does people, and again, this might come under complaining, but I just have never figured this out. Why do we go and ask somebody something and then talk about yourself? It doesn't, I just can't wrap my brain around that, people. I just can't do it. And it's still today, I cannot wrap my brain around it. It's just the most craziest thing daily that I think about. It's like, why in the world do people do this? It doesn't make sense. And I maybe somebody's trying to give you courage that what they went through. I don't even like to encourage someone because I don't know I'm not a doctor. I don't know what's their extent. I just know that I can relate to people's pain, especially going through this, and we got to watch being hypocritical. We have to watch doubting God. Because when you start going into your finances and thinking that you're doing everything that you believe God is telling you to do, and you start doubting this, well, I'm not going to do it. You're more worried about your bank account than you're trying to look at God. Well, you just become your own God, and you think that God is going to do what in your life? Nothing, because you're doing nothing. Look at the guy that went, look at the three servants. He gave the one coin, the other one, I think it was, let's just say 5, and he gave the other one 20. Well, the one went and buried a coin, the other one went and invested, did what he did, brought back more, and the other one brought back more. But you see what it's saying? The other one was just thought he was doing good because he's going to bring back the one. He didn't lose or make anything. But it's the fact that he never tried, people. That's the story here. You never try to do anything for God. You never try to invest in God's kingdom and do what God has want you to do. You're never going to see the whole greatness of God, because you're focused on what you can understand. I've seen us get down to no money, and we fed 4 people. I've seen rents be paid, bills come in not paid. I mean, bills come in with nothing owed. It's you can't wrap your mind around it. And there's a lot of times when I start investing in stuff, trying to get stuff going. Sometimes I just believe it's Satan stopping stuff. So I start doubting stuff. Or the fact that it turns into an argument, because finances is one of the biggest things Satan loves to use against couples. I'm not foolish, people. I'm not out here just wasting money. I'm out here trying to figure out my next steps in life, and until God opens that door and shows me what he has for me next. Is it back driving truck? Is it doing something else? I have an idea, but I'm not there yet, okay? I'm not there to say yes or no. But either way, it's an adventure. That's what I could say, to say the least. It's an adventure for sure. I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but I do know I try to do everything I possibly can to serve God today. To understand the meaning of what God has, we have to dig into his life. We got to get into his kingdom. And that means praying. That means giving that time up for him, keeping them first in your life. Without having them first in your life, people, we are a sinking ship. We are sinking and don't even know it. It's to a point that you even go and I don't even like yesterday. I was finally able to go back to church, and a guy came up and was talking to me, and I always forget his name for some reason at the end, and he asked me how everything was going, and really, to be honest, he just sat there and listened. It's like it brought back hope for that split moment, and you start talking a little bit about your past, but you don't want to go the whole way in it, because you don't know how somebody's going to retake it, or they're going to say, "Oh, I don't believe this," or but it's just mind-blowing to me how we can say that we believe the Bible, but yet don't believe all the things that are in the Bible. I don't know, people. All I know is that the Lord is correcting a lot of things in my life and showing me a lot of different facts in life. And I just can't do this life no more, I guess. It's time to let things change. And I got to be ready for that change. And I got to let him come in and change it. It's just mind-boggling how so many people get tied up and lost in the category of what they think they can control. Let me tell you, we are not in control of our lives. Even if God is not in control over your life, Satan is. This government is. We shouldn't be paying proper taxes. We shouldn't be doing this. The IRS shouldn't be in place. Well, look at all the money that the state of Ohio just shipped off a while back. You think about how stores are ripping us off. I mean, there's so much wrong with the United States people. There's so much wrong. And a lot of it's our fault because we get wrapped up in these high dollar situations, and we want a certain amount of money coming in, and we don't live off of what we get. We get a pay raise, and we start living off that. And we get another pay raise, and you start living up that lifestyle. Before you know it, you're living off a $200,000 lifestyle, and you're only making $90,000 because you kept moving up and up and up instead of taking that money that you get now and keep living on the life you're on. You could have put it away and had a nice chunk of money. You could have turned around and said, "Okay, Lord, you gave me this money. What do you want me to do with it?" But instead, we don't. We're already planning what we're going to go buy, what we're going to do. Income tax come in. I hear so many people that are always broke and they get income tax, and I'm talking child credits and all these things, and they go spending crazy. New shoes, new clothes. They look like they just came out of a $1,000 shopping spree, and they look the best of the best. 3 or 4 months later, they're complaining about not having money. That is a foolish person. Because you live for today. I don't live for today. I do plan for tomorrow. It may come. But once I already figure out tomorrow's coming, I start focusing more on today and getting through today. I'm not a fool. I'm not using God's money in the wrong way. It's His money. He's provided it, and I'm to do the best steward as I can. When He tells me to do something, by gosh, I'm doing it. Whether people understand it or don't, I don't care what man thinks. I don't care. I don't need a red carpet at church. There's times that I get frustrated with stuff and I ask questions. Well, that's what we're supposed to. That's what a pastor is. He's a shepherd. I just don't understand some of them. It's like, good example. I like our associate pastor, but I really don't understand him. I see him up there preaching and I see him up there singing, but I think he's reached out to me one time since the whole time that we've been going there. And, he said hi to me when they lived right across the street from us. And, like one time and his kid yelled hi and I was actually shocked. I really didn't know what to say. And it's like, I think I recall one time that he came up and asked me how I was doing, but and again, I don't need a red carpet, but you figure he's a pastor. I don't know. Maybe I got a different meaning of a pastor, a shepherd. I want that true shepherd. I want that true feeling in a pastor, and I think he's a great pastor. I mean, he can get up there and preach the word, but I struggle, because my thing is Christian people are always been the hardest people to me to understand because I believe they were the most fakest people I've ever met. I've been to a lot of churches in my day, and I've seen a lot of corruption. When I was young, I've been turned away from churches, and I'm thinking this is godly here. I mean, I got better luck with sinners than I do going to a church. I don't understand churches, I guess, or do I have this expectation built in my head that is just useless, I guess. I don't know. It's sad. I keep praying that God leads me and keeps giving me the sight because other than that, people, I have no clue. I'm part of me just wants to give up on churches, and I know we're supposed to go there to fellowship and stuff, and it's hard. It's there's so many things that I could really speak about us giving trust into God and faith into God, and where the enemy comes in. See, when you know the enemy, it's hard to go into a church and tell people about hell. It's hard to go in there and tell people about the damnation of hell and what really happens in hell, because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. Why? I don't know. I really don't know. I had an email 2 days ago and I read it, and I'm telling you, I don't have an answer for this. I really don't. The only thing I can think of is they're so fearful to hear about the demonic realm, but Jesus talked about the demonic realm. Jesus talked about hell, talked about Hades. I don't care what you call it. Jesus talked about it, but the churches don't want to. Don't want to. Far in between, you get someone that's going to stand up there and speak about hell in the church. But it's real. How do we stop people from going there if we don't teach about it? You know, discipleship classes. I mean, people are getting baptized, but you know, we go under the whole fact of what, you know, you go back to Nicodemus. I use this. Look, go back how many videos back? You know, I talk about this with Nicodemus. You know, I'm a grown man. Do you expect me? How am I supposed to be reborn again from my mother's womb? You know, and Jesus speaks. You know, you are to be baptized in the Spirit. You know, you be born again of water, and He will baptize us and put that fire in us. But people, we're not using it. You know, we're more worried about how am I going to get there, and I don't want to go yet because I want to see my grandchildren grow up. I don't want to go yet. I want this to finish off first. Well, I want to finish school and get a good job, and I want to have a spouse and children, a dog and a goldfish and a Lamborghini and, you know, all these wonderful things, people. But in the bottom line, it's no good for us if we don't know the truth. When we put God in that coffin and bury Him, and it happens more than you know, I was just reading a text message. I refuse to put God in the box. I want God and Jesus 100% over my life, and if I got to sit at home and write my own thoughts and do videos, then I will. You know, I've always wondered, because, you know, you hear all these people and these followers and all this stuff, and I'm like, you know, I did get tied up in there that one time, and I was like, wow, you know, I wonder what it would be like to get to that million spot and have that plaque on the wall. And I started thinking, wow, you know, that's nice when you see the people putting them up there, and all I can think is, why not, God? What am I doing wrong? And, you know, am I not doing the work that you sent me here to do? And then I go, you know, I don't really care. I don't really care if I ever hit 1 million. I don't care if I even hit 1,000. I don't care if I hit 100,000. I couldn't tell you how many people even watch these videos anymore. You know, a lot of hatred, a lot of good people on here, and we just it's time to get back on the roller coaster and keep it moving, because God's time is coming, you know. And we look at these rumors of wars. We look at the wars coming to this United States, people. FEMA camps are coming. Lockdowns. Wait till God's sheep is gone, and He hands them sheep over to the Lord. And when the saints come marching in, I want to be in the number. Well, if you're not in that number, let me tell you right now, you're not going to survive. You may say, oh, yeah, Nelson, I will. No, you can't do it now. You're not going to do it then. I guarantee it. You're going to cave in so fast because you can't buy nothing. You can't eat. You can't work. You can't do anything without that mark of the beast. Well, congratulations. You might as well just say, okay, here, I'll take the chip. Just send me straight to hell. I'm going to just start getting tortured now. Like I haven't been tortured enough on this earth. You know, I just want to get tortured some more. So just send me now, please. Go ahead. Because you're asking Satan just to send you now. You're not asking God, because God don't send you to hell. You send yourself. Let's just cut to the chase of it. You chose the lifestyle you want to do. You chose the drugs. You choose to be around it. You choose not to want to get away from it. Well, the withdrawals, you don't understand. Oh, I understand totally. I understand totally. I understand the feeling of it. I understand the high of it. I understand the chase of it. And I understand the demonic that walks with it. You look at the followers, you look at the watchers, you look at all this stuff happen. People are testifying in this stuff. And I'm so grateful that people are finally speaking of these on these podcasts and stuff in their shows, because it just brings truth to what I've been saying. All the people that pointed at me and accused me of things and called me a monster and called me a raper and called me all these bad, nasty things, and then put claims against me. My nephew, one of them. Well, you did stuff to your granddaughter. I didn't do nothing to my granddaughter. I loved my granddaughter. I would have laid my life down for that girl. She was like my own child, and it's sickening. It's sickening. After all the rape cases I've been around, I lost two good friends of mine because they were raped, and both girls committed suicide. I've seen stuff happen to my oldest sister. I've had motions of things that was going to happen to me. Things my mother spoke about that my grandfather did to her. I mean, people, I can go down the list. And let me tell you, that's not something that just happens. That's something that continues to happen, because them people are sick and they're twisted, and there's so much things wrong with it. Not only that, I mean, you can think back, I can go all the way back to chain lane of things. And I never was like that. And I'm still not like that today. I'm not into one night stands. I'm not into that connections and just sleep with people and go on about the way, because somebody always gets hurt, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So many people accuse and throw stones when they're living in a glass house themselves, because they do not want to take responsibility for what they have done. Instead, it's easier when you done this and you owe me $10,000. And I'm like, I owe what? I mean, I'm trying to fix things and I'm trying to do stuff the right way. And, I ran out of time. I ran out of time in a lot of things in life, people. And, for people to claim they were family and well, I'm mad at you because of this, I'm mad at you because of that. Really? What about all the stuff that I gave up and to help? I remember having concert tickets given up and going and working on a furnace till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and trying to find the part to fix it. And then I told, well, don't worry about it. I got another person coming to fix it. Okay. I'm sorry, but I'm human. I got kids at home. I got a life to try to understand myself. And it blows my mind. It just, I got to a point that over this year and this fall that I had, and just keep falling. I mean, it doesn't stop. And it's like, I grew so much hatred towards family. I hate it, hate it, hate it. And I couldn't, I hate it because of the fact that my own children see what they see. But, thank God that Darlene's been there through the majority of this and was able to see it, because she was always quick for defense. And then she goes, yeah, how do you defend against that, Because it's truth. The things that I speak, I wish I'm wrong. I wish I could be wrong. And I even think this might be the one time that I'm going to be wrong, and I wouldn't be more sadder if I was. I mean, it's just enough's enough. It's like it's all in God's hands. Here you go, God. Here you go. You can have it all. I just want Jesus. And if I don't live past tomorrow, if I don't wake up tomorrow, I should say, then I had a hell of a life. And when I say hell, I mean, it's been 85% hell. That's all I got to say. It's been peaceful these last few years. And the person that sent me the email about the churches and all that. Let me tell you something. I'm going to answer your other question because I said I'd do it on this next video. No, it's not that I don't love my children. It's not that. There was 8 of them. The first my first marriage, she had 2 children before I even got with her. One, I believe he was just turned 3, and the other one just turned 1, or he just turned 2, and the other one, I want to say he was more 3. But he passed away of a drug overdose problems and stuff too. Everybody kept saying, "Oh, he's clean," but he's still. I said, "Is he still smoking marijuana?" Yeah, well, he's not clean then. It's like saying that I'm an alcoholic, but I'm clean now, but you're still drinking and you're still getting drunken. It doesn't make any damn sense. It just, well, it's the devil's grass, the devil's weed, devil's this. I don't care. Anything you put devil in front of is telling you there's something wrong with it. But that whole situation was the biggest bunch of hypocrites I've ever seen in my life. Quickly point the finger. But yet, your closets aren't so damn clean. I don't care. Maybe it gave them escape so they didn't have to be around me. Maybe they just chose not to be around me no more. I don't know. Don't really care. It's not that I don't love them. I pray for them every day, and well, I shouldn't say every day. Majority of the days. Well, Nelson, you just lied. No, when I do pray, I just lift acquaintances, people I know, and family. So is that really is? I'm not calling them out one at a time. Sometimes I do. So I don't know if it's, but I shouldn't say every day because I'm not certain on it. So I retract what I said. I'm human, but judge me, convict me, throw stones at me, take me and strip me down naked and beat me, make me carry a cross, push me down, kick me, spit on me, pluck my beard out, put a crown of thorns on me. Oh, wait, that's right. You guys already did that to Jesus. So it's not enough. You got to continue to do it. For whatever you do to me, you do it to him. So just continue to keep doing it. Continue to throw him up on there. I don't have feelings. I don't have no emotions. I don't have anything. Only thing I know is I truly see today that nobody gives a crap about me. Darlene has stuck here through the thick and thin of it, and all I keep thinking about is all the stuff that she's been through in this last year, 13 months of this garbage. And there's times that I've lashed out at her, and I mean, I can't control the pain anymore. I went through a bad phase. It's just praying that God takes me out every day, praying and just starting getting mad. Why are you letting me go through this? What have I done? Please just examine myself. And I keep examining myself, and I reached out to the senior pastor down there, and I just needed someone to talk to. And I remember going into church that day, and I just kept saying, and he says, well, we're going to continue to pray for you. And walked away. And I know he's not perfect, people. Nobody's perfect. But it's just the fact that night I struggled most of the night. And that was the night I talked about, I just kept staring at them pill bottles going, I just can't do this anymore. And I just can't do this anymore. Then I started thinking about the house that I lived in down the road here, that they just put new windows and stuff in. I'm thinking, great. Lucifer's rebuilding his house of lies and dens of thieves and wolves and blood-sucking vampires and everything else. Witchcraft, warlocks, potions, spells, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. But it really gets me when someone stands up there and goes, I know there's people out here, this and this and this, but do you really know? I don't think people do. They played a song yesterday. I think it was the last song that they played, and I couldn't stop crying. And I really don't like to cry in public, never have. But my grandfather always told me crying is weak. You're not a man if you cry. I don't give a crap what he says anymore. Care what anybody really says, you know. I care what God and Jesus, because I can't do anything without them. You know, I'm going to disappoint Darlene. I may snap at her. It doesn't, and it's no excuse. I can't control it anymore. I feel like I'm losing myself. I feel like I'm losing this battle, and I know the Lord has it. You know, and it's sad because, you know, I told Darlene the other day. I said, whatever comes out of this, you know, if I pass away, just sell everything off, you know, because I know people will line up just to get whatever they can get their hands on. And I don't even, I don't know, maybe it's the wrong way to feel, but people have no idea. They have no idea. We have no idea what we do to God when we live a life of, I'm too busy. If you're too busy, then did God really call you in to be a pastor? Did God really call you to be a husband? Or did God call you to be a wife then? You know, should you have children? Should you continue to have children? Well, I got to work, Dad, because for this reason and that reason. Really, because I've never had children. I have no idea how hard it is. I have no idea the work from being at work and getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning so I can be at work at time, and then do landscaping all the way till 10 o'clock at night and unload a truck and trailer and drive my 40 minutes home from Richfield, Ohio, back to Akron, and do this 5 days a week. And when I finally got in the Mogador, living there, you know, you're working from 4 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. Do the math, people. Just so I had to be up and leaving the house by 3 o'clock. It wasn't a lot of people on the road at that time, so I had a little bit of time to spare. But think about it. People judge you so much. We are the judgmentalist people, and Christians are famous for it. I wonder when it's ever going to end. I tell you, I wonder how many people are going to be left here because they think everything they're doing is right. They think that they have the right. We can examine the fruits of someone, and it'll tell you what kind of Christian they really are. It'll tell you the people to stay away from, because if them fruits do not add up to God's fruits of what He gives people, you probably shouldn't be. You know, Jesus. You know why? You know, when they talk about Jesus sitting down with the sinners and He ate with them, you know what He was doing? He was showing witness, people. He was being that example. Jesus didn't come here for the ones like the Pharisees. He came here for the ones that were lost. Well, that's not my problem. Well, whose problem is it? God created all of us to go out and do the good work. God created all of us to give the gift of Him. You know, someone comes knocking on your door for a loaf of bread and you give them a serpent. You know, or somebody needs something you do. Well, I forget how it went. I always forget that verse. I know it's something like a scorpion, a rock, and something else. I forget how it went, how it goes, to be honest. But it's up to you. Are you willing to let God lead you? Are you willing to go? You know, because, you know, sometimes we go through hard times. You know, you struggle through life. Well, I understand that. I mean, I ate out of trash cans. And I still today don't care about money. I need money to survive, and that's all I care about. I don't care if Darlene went out and spent $200 to $2,000 at a store. I wouldn't question one bit of it. You know why? Good for you. God's blessing you, so let it be done. I just wanted to be at peace. I just wanted to be happy. I want her to enjoy life, and she made it through life. She had people take advantage of her, and I still see people trying to do it. You look at these sinners that come, and the first person they call is a godly person. I need help, but you do need help, but the wrong kind of help. You're asking for finances. The help that you can get is through Christ. You live a life that you choose to go out and live and do, and take off 2 weeks worth of time and don't work, and work up until the time that your next job is ready to start. We all need a break. Trust me. Uh, I I I'm lost, people. I don't understand. I mean, I understand the demonic realm. I understand what it's capable of doing, and I don't understand the Christian community anymore. I don't understand how it is so hard to hear how God has saved his people. It blows my mind. So the next time you're praying that God uses you, it may just be the finances, but I've seen him take ours all the way down to nothing and still put food on our table and our bills paid and our rents paid. And we even still got to go out to eat. That's all I really care about, honestly. If I can go out to eat when I want to go out to eat, I'm a rich man. I'm a rich man. Use the opportunity to serve God and bless others. Not to receive anything on this earth of man's praise. Don't speak about what you do, but just do what you feel the Spirit inside of you is telling you to do. Maybe too late soon. Who knows? I think about some of the people I reached back out to. I haven't checked my email in a while. I'm going to have to check it to see if they replied back to me. It's just bizarre. I haven't even checked the other comments and stuff. You think about what happens to people. Are they okay? And and I get it. Some of them are up in Canada. I don't know. Maybe my teachings are a little much. uh, I'm just trying to wake people up. God wants. You don't think God wants revivals in these churches, but He can't send revival if the churches aren't ready for it. He really can't. Like yesterday, I was felt to do something and I didn't do it, and I've been thinking, asking God to forgive me. So Sunday, if He still wants me to do it, I'll go to that person. But I didn't do it. I just didn't do it. I didn't do it because I second guessed it. First of all, third of all, I'm using it going, is this person the same as the rest? I mean, so then I falsely judged somebody, and I shouldn't do that. I should have just went. So I asked God for an opportunity this coming weekend. If I still have the opportunity to do it, then He'll lead me to do it, and I'll do it. That's obedient. That's faithfulness. That's trusting in Him, not in my own self, because I'm not capable of doing. Look, I'm out here confessing. I disobeyed God. He asked me to do something, and I'm willing to do whatever he wants me to do. But I just didn't want to go to that particular person. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I should have. Now you learn. Because it might come to a time when God won't use you no more. Doesn't mean he doesn't love you. He just needs stuff done. So I'm going to wrap this up. I got a few things I got to do because what I can't be able to do, but I really got to get this one thing done before tonight gets here. So God bless you guys. I love you. Be strong in the Lord. Put him first. And let God lead your life, people. Because the next video, I'm going to be digging in on the FEMA camps and hope. That's the best way I can put it, is hope. But till the next one, God bless you.